Hey guys, welcome back to Revelation Studios. This is going to be a bit of a different video because in this video I'm actually going to be using my voice instead of just recording the screen. We'll see how this goes. It could be pretty interesting because I've never used a mic in one of my videos before, but we'll see how it goes. So the first thing I decided to do was actually to get straight into making the buildings. I wanted them to look really cartoony, so I added some angles to it and some nice blue windows. So I then went on to play around with that for a little bit, and when I decided that that's what I wanted, I then went on to doing the tiles. I didn't know exactly how I was going to script all of it in the beginning, but I did know that I was going to use some sort of tile system. After sorting out the tiles, I then made a few road tiles and I pretty much called it a day. Alright, day 2. I didn't really get much done the day before, but I had set the groundwork for starting scripting. I didn't really know where to start at all, so I probably spent quite a few minutes just doing nothing. But eventually I got some ideas and I started writing down variables. A few minutes later and I thought I had something, but instead I had an error. Which, in case you don't know much about scripting, that's not good. I had a few successful moments and a few errors, and I even almost got to the point of having an actual road, but there was a problem with the collisions which I did not understand, and that just would have to wait until tomorrow. Day 3 I started over with fresh ideas of how to fix the problem, and I did a couple tests and eventually managed to figure out what was going wrong. Now there was still problems of roads going into each other, but the problem with tiles not being destroyed was fixed. At this point I did a bunch of tests, and eventually I came to the conclusion of adding borders around the map so that I could detect when roads had hit the edge of the map. I added a T road. This is when things started to get a bit more complicated, but had some very interesting results. An X road. I got it working. Finally, I saved the project and called it a day. Alright, day 4. Day 4 was a pretty good day. It was filled with a lot of implementing new things, but there was also a lot of bugs that needed to be fixed. Very weird bugs. Some of which are actually still in the game, but they're hard to find. They're very uncommon, thankfully. One of my favorite things about day 4 was that the roads actually started to look like roads, like, I think, good looking roads. I made it so that the green and red lines would be removed afterwards to make a smooth black road. I did a bit more testing, made it so that the roads would come from 2 different directions, and added a dead-end road. Now I just wanted to take a few minutes to talk about some research I'd been doing, something I've had on my mind. If you really want to, you can skip past this part, but I would really recommend listening to what I have to say. I like random stuff. There's no doubt about it. I've always loved the idea of setting the boundaries and watching AI do the work. The only problem is that AI makes some terrible mistakes, and most of the time it looks really bad. Like, for example, I could probably make something like this city in like 10 minutes. I'm not trying to boast, I'm just saying almost anybody could do that because it's easy. It's just fun to see AI do it. In fact, this video took almost 10 hours to make, whereas I could have just done it in about 10 minutes. So what's my point? Why did I stop the video to talk about this? So here's what I have to say. Wouldn't it be so much easier to believe that someone created the universe instead of it occurring by random chance? Let me paint a picture for you. Pretend you have a huge ocean with all the different components you need to create a protein, and you let it do its thing. After 4.6 billion years, the believed age of the Earth, there would have been 10 to the power of 58 attempts to make a protein. Now that is a lot, except when you realize that the chance of a protein occurring by chance is 1 to 10 to the power of 164. That's this much. I'll try and put it on the screen, but it's a big number. Even after that, you only have one protein, and you need so much more than that. The smallest living organism has about 300 proteins or more. Anyway, thanks for listening to me ramble on. Let's get on with the video. Day 5. So this is when the fun begins. I improved the borders, fixed bugs, which is not really fun, added buildings, and changed the colors up a bit. I then went on to do changing heights, which actually took a while, and ended the day with, well, messing about. Day 6. So day 6 actually started with me improving the code. I had someone help me, like a professional scripter help me with that. I then started modeling, because what I really wanted to do is to have more than just buildings and roads, because that's boring. Why would you spend ages doing just buildings and roads? So I then made some trash cans and benches, and eventually even a car. Although I didn't actually end up using the car, sadly. It took me ages to make, because I couldn't quite figure out how to have cars driving around the place. That would be really cool. Maybe I'll come back to that one day. Anyway, enjoy the rest of the time lapse, and I'll be back in a second to continue talking about the generator. Alright, I'm back. So after modeling those, I imported them into Roblox Studio and gave them some color. And that was pretty much the end of day 6. Day 7. So day 7 I got straight into coding the benches and trash cans, and it went pretty well actually. I'm pretty happy with where they spawned, how much they spawned, etc. And of course here's the car I modeled, which I didn't end up using, which is sad. But I still think it looks cool. Maybe I could use it for something else. Day 8. So day 8 was when I started to clean everything up. I started doing UI, which I'm not the best at, but I'm still pretty happy with how it turned out. I think this is probably one of my best bits of UI. I took some code from the developer website thingy, because I didn't quite know how to have the camera rotating around a part. Very sadly, I lost the footage for day 9, so instead here's a recap of what happened. Day 9 was a very long day. There was a lot of UI that needed to be done. It may not look like much, but it took a long time to script. I had different options, for example, the shape of the city. I also gave the option to test the game, because It's fun to explore. I increased the jump height and the walk speed of the player so that they can explore much quicker. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. This video was definitely a new one for me. It took a very long time to record, a very long time to record my voice, and a long time to edit as well. I think probably at least 10 hours overall for this whole thing. Please tell me if there's anything else you'd like to see on this channel. It's not exactly the top channel on YouTube, but I still want to know what you guys think. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.